What is up, YouTube? It's Zar-Kombat over here. So today I want to talk about Dustin Poirier. We're getting close to August. We're getting close to DP's last fights in the UFC, and there's still no opponents, or his opponents hasn't been revealed yet. He said he wants Gaethje. He said he wants Legends Only, Nate Diaz. Nate Diaz is no longer in the UFC, and the Gaethje fights doesn't make sense right now. But I feel like the best fights the UFC can make for Dustin Poirier's last fights, the best fight they can make today, the fight that that will be best for Dustin Poirier's retirement fights. It has to be Dan Hooker. Dan Hooker versus Dustin Poirier one more time in front of an audience is one of the best fights the UFC is going to make this year, if they do decide to make that fight. They fought in 2020 in the Apex in front of no one and gave us the fights of the year. I remember watching that fight live. That was, at that time, the best fight I had ever seen live. That fight with Dustin Poirier and Dan Hooker was the most violent fights I've ever seen. Because there was no one there, like there was no crowd, the noise you could hear when they were punching each other, it was disgusting. The noise was disgusting, it was absolutely violent, and they have to make that fight again. That fight has to happen in front of an audience. That's just a no-brainer. That's the best fight they can make for Dustin Poirier's last fights. A violent fight amongst two legends in the lightweight division. One retires, the other gets an opportunity to establish himself as a top 5 lightweight once again in the UFC. So it's a win-win for everyone. It's definitely a win for us, the fans, because it's going to be a bloody fight, a violent fight. It's going to be an absolute war. It'll be easy for the UFC to promote that fight because the first one was so awesome, so everyone would be excited for that fight. It could be a pay-per-view co-main, or it could headline a fight night in Louisiana, or anywhere where Dustin Poirier would like his last fight to be. But Dustin Poirier versus Dan Hooker, UFC has to make that fight. That's the fight they have to make. The fight, that fight deserves an audience. If there's one fight in the UFC that has to happen this year, it's Dan Hooker versus Dustin Poirier. One more time, the last dance for the diamond, a chance at redemption for Dan Hooker. It's a win for the fans, it's a win for the company. UFC, please make Dustin Poirier versus Dan Hooker. Tag the UFC, tag Dana White, tag Hunter Campbell. Like below, subscribe below. Tell me if you agree whether this is the fight the UFC has to make. If not, tell me below. Like, subscribe. Peace be upon you guys. Zar-Kombat.